We just got to start faster. We got to get better. You know, that's stuff that we can control. That's stuff that's in our control. We just got to be better. We got to move forward from it. But like I said, we're not going to panic. We 3-3. We got a lot of football left.
Well, I'm sure Jerry Jones expected a birthday gift, but certainly nothing like what happened in AT&T Stadium on Sunday. The Dallas Cowboys' streak of owning the Detroit Lions has finally come to an end. 47-9, the final in AT&T Stadium is the largest loss under Jerry Jones since 1989. And from start to finish, you could see the extra motivation, the extra sense of urgency for the Detroit Lions. They hadn't won a game against the Cowboys in the last 5 meetings, but Dan Campbell had other plans and has finally taken him one, leaving the Cowboys 3-3 in the season. The story was written in the first half, though. Opportunities were there and completely not taken advantage of. Let's start with the first drive of the game. Back-to-back incompletions, and Dallas was forced to kick a field goal. Well, the second possession, Dak throws an interception in the end zone. It was their 4th red zone turnover of the year. Now, these were chances, even with the offensive line not holding up. But right before the half, Kevontae Turpin giving you an opportunity on a platter with a 79-yard return, putting the Cowboys at the Detroit 30, and yet another opportunity was wasted. The Cowboys trailed the half down 27-6 and have only led for a total of 2 minutes and 15 seconds at home this season. A tough loss, but a loss that will come with a few lessons.
I don't want to say I have to play perfect by any means, but I've got to play better than I did, and close to it, especially when you're playing a team like that. As talented as they are, they're hot right now. Good on defense, great on offense. Yeah, for sure.
Jack Todd, Archer with ESPN. Does this type of loss make you wonder what this team can still be?
No, I mean, we've got to get better, simply. And obviously, we're going into the bye week. I mean, we're 3-3, 6 games under us. A long season to go. I've been in worse situations, I guess you can say, in teams, and then got it going. Teams that got on a streak. I think about 2018. That, yeah, it's about us sticking together. And I think after a loss like this, no better time than to test the character of that.
What do you make of the bye? Does anything about this loss change how you guys approach the bye?
I mean, the schedule's the schedule. Get in there tomorrow, clean it up, look at it, be honest with one another. Everybody, myself, I'm sure Coach said the same. Look in the mirror, figure out what we can do, how we can be better for this team, put better units out there, and then collectively make sure that when we get on the road week after this bye, that we're a much better team than we put out there today, and try to build from that.
You are what your record is. I mean, so I think we've had some out-of-balance games that when you get in out-of-balance games and you're on the wrong side of it, you know, you have the numbers that we have. You know, our turnover ratio is as low as I can ever remember it here. So, and that's not who I am as a head coach, and that's not where we invest our time. That's not where we invest. I mean, you have to have ROI. I don't care what level of football you play. Football's not going to change, and that's why they call it football. And we're not taking care of the football, and we're definitely not taking it away. So we need to improve there. I mean, we've had 7 turnovers in 7 days, so maybe 8.
Yeah. Tim Cowlishaw, Dallas Morning News. You had a 2-year run of 16-0 at home. How would you even try to explain what has happened to this team at home this year? 3 losses and pretty much 3 blowout losses.
Well, I think the thing is, you know, it just when you think you've seen it all in this league, it's just the way the ball bounces sometimes. So, you know, we start off 3-0 on the road too. So I mean, we can have that conversation. But yeah, I mean, I've always believed that, you know, home was such an advantage. You know, I spent some time last night on some things, so you know, we'll tweak some things. It's just, you know, you just can't keep doing the same things over and over again. But it doesn't matter. You play home, away, in the parking lot. If you give up the damn ball 5 times and you're not taking it away, you're not going to win the game. So that's irrelevant to the way we're playing.
Mike McCarthy not shying away from his frustrations in post-game on Sunday because the Cowboys are 3-3 and winless at home, which is something they had success in the 2023 season. So now, how did they happen, though? George Teague comes on the show up next to break it all down.
Dallas Cowboys Flashback. Powered by Reliant is brought to you by AT&T, official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys, and by Reliant, official energy provider of the Dallas Cowboys. This segment is brought to you by AT&T, official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys.
At the 49, there's a double reverse flea flicker. Goff going to throw it deep to the right side. Brock on the corner, running away to the 15, to the 10, 5, diving in for the touchdown.
Now that's the type of creativity you want to bring to the field when you want to win football games. Dan Campbell bringing that and more on Sunday against the Cowboys. But where was the Cowboys' creativity and where was the execution? George Teague here to break it all down for me. Now, George, we've got to start with earlier in the game, right? Dak and the Cowboys drive downfield, settle for a field goal because they're not able to extend plays. Had a couple of good plays from CeeDee Lamb, Rico Dowdle on that drive. But then second possession, 3rd and 5, down 7-3, an interception in the end zone from the Detroit Lions. A little bit of miscommunication there from Dak and CeeDee, but who was it on, Dak, CeeDee, or was this just good coverage from the Lions?
You know what? The red zone, things still continue to happen, right? We're not executing. But it was not on either one of them, actually, that I think. I think it's a great play by Brian Branch this time, because what he does is unbelievable, actually. So I'd like to show you what I'm talking about here, because it is a great play that we actually run down in the red zone. It's very common. You try to get someone to the corner of the end zone, and you try to get someone short, okay, and then another one kind of short in the way, all right? But what you have to watch is that this gentleman here he's in a bad position because he actually has CeeDee Lamb, okay? But then you got to watch this gentleman right here and what he actually does. So when you let this run and you watch, you can see him communicating right here. 31 has to get CeeDee Lamb to the corner of the end zone, and he is out of position right now. But Brian Branch sits back, holds on the goal line, what we like to call deep to short, and actually flips his hips, goes up, and makes a tremendous play. So this is something that we normally typically try to run in the red zone. Someone short in the flat and someone in the corner of the end zone. He just played the ball very, very well.
Teams are starting to pick up on what the Cowboys do well, the trends, as we like to call it. Dallas 0-3 in the red zone. That was their 4th red zone turnover of the 2024 season. They were 23% also on 3rd downs. And when you talk about this offense really struggling, Dak forced to throw in those tight windows, that moves us to a 4th and 2 play with Kevontae Turpin, an incompletion there, and a turnover on downs. The Detroit Lions go and score on the next possession. What did you see there, and what went wrong from that play?
Well, I think this is where you have to decide as a coach on what you want to try to make happen here. It is 4th down. You're down 20-3. 2 minutes left in the quarter, and you got to decide, do I let them get a chance to score again, because they're going to get the ball back in the second half. So this ends up being a 14-point swing. But the route is a very simple route by Kevontae, right? Something like this. You know you're going to get some man-to-man coverage. You just have to watch this gentleman here play man-to-man, the corner, okay, up on top of him, because he does not give any space at all when the route is being run. So he's anticipating this guy to come back, and he actually has very tight coverage. Dak just doesn't really have anywhere to throw the ball. Unfortunate that it was 4th down, and now you got short field for the Detroit Lions to go score again.
Now this also says a lot about the lack of trust that this team has in their run game, which is kind of confusing to me, because that was the key to your success last week against the Steelers. Was that the right play call for the Cowboys at that point?
No, I don't think so. I think that one, either you run the ball or you go ahead and flip the field. That's the main thing. I think you've got to play field position in this. The defense hadn't been able to stop the run or anything up to this point, so you need to go ahead and try to flip the field and get off and eliminate one of those touchdown plays.
Yeah, you talk about the defense not being able to stop the run. They weren't really able to stop anything on Sunday against the Lions. We'll be breaking more of the defense down later in the show. We got more of this offensive line struggles. They continue to happen. Zach Martin having his worst performance since 2021. We're breaking that down right here on Cowboys Flashback up next.
This segment was brought to you by AT&T, official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys. This segment is brought to you by Ashley, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
What was your saving grace in Week 5 and ultimately the key to your success against the Pittsburgh Steelers last Sunday? Well, it was almost non-existent in Week 6. The Cowboys went from having a season-high rushing yards, 109, and attempts, to just 53 rushing yards on the ground in 17 attempts, 13 of those coming from your running backs alone. The Cowboys knew, though, it would be tough to run against the Lions defense, but even then, the Cowboys had a little bit of success when they tried. They just abandoned it. The offensive line, well, the struggles are still there, and Dak was sacked 4 times, pressured 18 on 38 dropbacks, and Tyler Smith talking to the media post-game about the offensive line struggles.
This is part of our journey. I mean, it's so easy to, come in when you're rolling, like when you're winning all the time, when nothing is stopping you from having your way, and just be able to be happy. Do whatever you want to. Thank you. Do whatever you want to do. Have it your way. But what are you going to do when that adversity hits you? I think that's the true measure of a man is really when he sees that adversity. And I think we have a choice to make. That's all it really is a choice. Who do you want to be? Like, when somebody asks more of you, are you going to go down on yourself and be like, nah, man, why they asking so much of me? Are you going to rise to the occasion and understand that, God has given us all we need to be successful? He has made a way for all of us. So I don't think we should forget anything. I think we should take this apple to the fire. Like Coach said, look in the mirror. Did you get your best ever today? Can you be better? And I think the answer for everybody should be yes. Like, we can be better. We can get more effort.
You guys are a young offensive line. Were you surprised that you started this game, or were you saying this is a continuation of the Pittsburgh game? You had a little success in the second half.
I mean, I won't say I was surprised. I kind of knew the plan going in. I knew, I'd be kind of, having a bump out, handle that. And, that's just part of it. My brothers need me. We got guys down. We got guys banged up. And so we got to rise to the occasion. That's part of who I am. That's part of who I need to be as a leader on this offensive line, and somebody able to do it all.
O-line struggles, run game struggles. This offense continues to go through the ringer. 23% third down conversion rate and 0 of 3 in the red zone. CeeDee Lamb was actually asked about it, and here's what he had to say.
We got to score. We got to score touchdowns in the red zone. We got to capitalize. Continue moving the ball. I feel like there's some good also, but there's a lot more bad than there is good, and we know we got to fix that.
Did this loss change any of your goals or the way you perceive the team to be?
Not at all. Not at all. A lot of people may question it, but it's not for them. We're the ones that's out there running the routes, doing the blocking, the running. Granted, we didn't get out to the start we've always wanted, but we are 3-3, and that's just the fact. We gotta capitalize every given chance that we step out on the field, home or away. And obviously, in the beginning of this season, we played a lot better away than we have home. But our last 4 games at home have not been good.
When the defense is as compromised as it is, do you guys feel more pressure to go out there and score touchdowns and do what you guys do?
I feel like we have pressure to go out there and score regardless. But it's a little more of an urgency when they give up a touchdown, obviously, because you kind of want to match the intensity. But going out there and going and putting up points, it's very important to us.
35, that's the amount of points the Dallas Cowboys have scored in the last 3 first halves in AT&T Stadium. And their opponents, 110. So putting up points and stopping their opponents from putting up points, that was 2 things the Dallas Cowboys did not manage to do on Sunday against the Lions. But also defensively, they're missing a couple of guys, offensively as well. But when you talk about this defense, would that have really changed anything? We're breaking that down up next year on Cowboys Flashback.
This segment was brought to you by Ashley, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
Dan Campbell and the Lions brought everything they needed in Week 6 against the Cowboys at AT&T Stadium. They brought a powerful run game. They brought some play action, some trickery, or I'd like to call it a little razzle-dazzle. But the Cowboys defense had no answers at all for the Lions at all. Granted, the Cowboys were already shorthanded, losing their top 4 pass rushers, but having to play Sunday without their true quarterback of the defense in Eric Kendricks, it certainly made an impact. They gave up 47 points 308 yards and 184 yards on the ground. 9 of the Lions' 10 possessions ended with points on the board. And you also talk about the Lions' O-line, where driving the Cowboys' D-line down the field, they couldn't generate pressure at all. The best plays of the game actually came from the defense, who was Damone Clark, having a few nice tackles and a third down sack on Jared Goff. Donovan Wilson and KJ Henry also got in on the sack party as well, but good plays here and there just won't cut it.
Just got us. It was just a much faster team than we were, more physical, so they got us.
Was this different, or were there similarities to what went wrong with Baltimore and New Orleans?
We always got to look in the mirror, see what we did wrong, and see what, how our effort and our technique and our discipline can be better. So it always starts as, the individual and then as a collective. Those things add up. So we're just looking in the mirror right now, like Coach said, and trying to get better.
How much did the injuries impact? I mean, you're down so many edge rushers.
We had injuries last week and we won a game, so that's not a good excuse. We just got to go out there and do our job.
What was the leadership message in this room after this game, and what can you share about it?
Look in the mirror. Honestly, see how you can get better in your 111th, and that's really how you got to progress. You got to start on an individual level, and then get as a collective and be on the same page.
Jordan, what did you make of the way some young guys responded as things were kind of unraveling today?
I mean, they fought. That's all you can ask. Go out there and fight, regardless of the situation you put in. So we just got to get better at doing our jobs and yeah.
You mentioned you need to be more physical. How can you be a more physical team?
And it's not just trying to out-rough people. That's running to the ball, understanding being disciplined every single play. That's also mental toughness. That's the more so than anything, because everybody can go run and hit. You got to be mentally tough enough to go do it every single time.
You mentioned mental toughness. How tough is that when the team scores continuously at 9-9? Is it debilitating at all? Is it hard to hold on?
Our job is to stop people, and we didn't do that. So we didn't do our job today, and we got to go out there and figure a way to clean this up. So.
Just as a competitor, don't nobody like losing. So, if you're a real competitor, it can be a week later, up until the next game. You're going to be thinking of those plays that, you might have missed the opportunity on, or that you could have made to make a difference in the game. That's what any real competitor to do. But, at the end of the day, it's about going out there and placing it on the field with your actions. So, you can think about it all you want. You got to go get the work in throughout the week, practice it up, and then you got to apply it to the game day. And, I feel like that's not what we did today.
Teams have now scored on first possession at least 6 games this year. Is there something maybe that's going on, I guess, in the early system, whether it's maybe the plan that they have this Saturday?
I honestly don't know, man. That's something we're kind of trying to figure out as a defense, and as some of the leaders on the defense, we feel like we're better than that. We've shown that we're capable of going out there and getting stops. We've done it before, so like I said, it's just about us going out there, figuring out what our mistakes is, and like I said, correcting them and being consistent with our corrections and going out there and applying it.
Is the bye week come at a good time for you guys to be able to find that identity?
Honestly, I don't know how anybody else look at it. We got some banged up guys, so for that sake, it is. But, right now we're not playing good ball. That's all it comes down to. So don't nobody want to go in the bye week and have a break and nothing's done, nothing's right. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's anybody. That's a competitor in the league. Like, that's something that, I know a lot of these guys on our end ain't wanting to do, and myself included as a leader. It sucks having to go in the bye week knowing that, all the work we put in the off season and even this week, it didn't apply to what we wanted to do, and we still got some stuff that we need to fix up. So it's definitely not a good feeling.
The Cowboys sit at 500 in the season, but where does this leave this team in terms of standings? Take a look around the NFC East up next.
To watch more Dallas Cowboys content on your connected TV, download the Cowboys Now app on Amazon Fire, Roku, and Apple TV. Dallas Cowboys Flashback, powered by Reliant, was brought to you by AT&T, official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys, and by Reliant, an NRG company.
The Dallas Cowboys took a 38-point beating in Week 6 against the Detroit Lions. 47-9 the final in AT&T Stadium, and it left a few guys a little frustrated in locker room. Had them really trying to self-reflect. They said one message, though. Every guy in the locker room said they have one message. That's just to look in the mirror to figure out how to move forward heading now into the bye week. Well, Jerry Jones also had a hand in that conversation, and he was asked, what does this do as far as assessing this team moving forward? He said there's a lot of question marks that they need to have answers in the bye week. So many soul searching to do here heading into the bye week because they have the San Francisco 49ers. Hopefully they figure it out. But that's a wrap here on Cowboys Flashback. We will see y'all back here next week.